And welcome to the OHIO podcast. It is a Tuesday night roundtable discussion show, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, over on Patreon, we have our NCAA bracket challenge happening. There's 2 days left to sign up for this thing. Thursday at noon, it goes live. The person who wins the bracket challenge this year over on our Patreon will get a Patreon membership for 1 year, absolutely free. Or, as we learned last night, if you were over on Patreon, sounds like if you already have a Patreon membership, guess what? Nate's going to throw in some Ohio State memorabilia, autographed memorabilia, if you would rather have that. So we're giving you options, people. Head on over to Patreon, sign up for the free membership. It doesn't cost you anything to be a free member. You get access to one message board. Plus, you'll get access to some of our free content over there, including the most recent video I made, the tutorial on how to sign up for the bracket challenge, fill it out, and be automatically entered to possibly win a free membership, a magazine, some swag, all of it over at the OHIO Podcast Patreon page. Joining me this evening on this our St. Patty's Day special is the wild man Chris, the Wolverine Slayer herself TG, and the marvelous Mika Hanna. We'll start with you first, Chris. Tell everybody who you are and where they can follow you at.
Well, I am the Wild Man, Chris Wild. You can find me over at Facebook at Christopher Michael. You can find me on the X at the Wildman97. You can find me right here at the OHO podcast. And I'm not hard to find. I'm not a little guy. Pretty easily to spot. Short, fat, glasses, backward cap. You can find me pretty easy.
TG, tell everybody who you are, where they can follow you.
What up, everybody? I'm TG. You guys can follow me on X as TG, obviously. You guys can also follow me on Facebook as Tierra GI Sports. You guys can also find me on the Spectrum podcast with my co-host James. And myself and James are planning on doing a live stream for recent events that have come up regarding Justin Fields, as well as the NFL with all kinds of trades and movements. And we're planning on doing a live show for you guys, so that way you guys can listen to us talk and have a great time, and pretty much listen to all kinds of I'm gonna say this, education of how you could talk about sports. Let's just be real on this one. So if you guys want to, go to the Spectrum podcast. The link is down in the description below, and I'll even make sure to put it in the chat for you guys to find it. Subscribe and check out the last show myself and James did, which was absolutely fire. Ask Eric. Trust me, ask him. It was good.
It's good stuff. Marvelous Mika Hanna's with us. Mika, tell everybody who you are, where they can find you.
You can find me on X. Search my name, Mika Hanna, or the Illuminati podcast on X or Facebook. I'm on Facebook under just my name, and I share all my podcast and stuff over there too. So that's pretty much the only two I'm on, Facebook and X. And I'm planning on doing an Illuminati episode tomorrow. I got a really fun topic for you guys, so be sure to tune into that.
Now, guys,
Apparently, I'm going to be on Tinder soon too, Eric, because Bobby and Bart seem to be running off together. I don't know.
Yeah,
what's going on
I know. I wasn't going to say anything, Chris. I was going to let that go, but apparently you're going to jump on it. I am disappointed in all of you, though. I can't see Mika, though, so I can't say I'm completely disappointed in her. Where's all your green at, guys?
Majority of my green is not here. It's
I wore it during the day today.
my place. It's actually at my apartment, so I'm not at my apartment right now.
Hey, for Jay, when Jay sees this. Happy St. Patrick's Day, man.
That's it.
I make people green with envy. I don't need to wear green.
Oh, nice, Mika.
There you go.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Green is not my color.
Okay, we're going to dive into it tonight. We got two great topics for all of you before we head on over to Patreon for the Super Secret Show at 9 o'clock. Tonight, we're going to crown our first ever Buckeye Jeopardy champion tonight between Chris, Mika, and TG over on our Patreon channel. It's going to be a lot of fun. I worked really hard on it today. I think you guys are going to love it. But that being said, tonight, we're going to go with this topic first. So, Ohio State, the over-unders for the years have come, or for the upcoming seasons have come out already. by some sports books. Ohio State, Chris, is getting a 9.5 win total for 2026 this year. So that's not exactly a. It's, I mean, let me back up. This is a really tough schedule we're about to face. I'm going to put that schedule. I'm going to show that schedule to all of you so that you all can see it. But 9.5 seems really low for what we have been able to accomplish at Ohio State under Ryan Day. He's basically been a 10-11 win coach every single year. And yes, I understand we lost a lot to the NFL draft. Yes, I understand that this schedule is very hard. But 9.5 kind of feels a little bit like a slap in the face, Chris. Not going to lie. Here's the schedule for 2026, everybody. There you see it on your screen. Versus Ball State at Texas, versus Kent State, versus Illinois, at Iowa, versus Maryland, at Indiana, our one bye week, at USC, versus Oregon, versus Northwestern, at Nebraska, versus the team up north. Very, very hard schedule. Might be one of the top 5 most difficult schedules in all of college football for this year. That being said, Chris, is 9.5 too much? Not enough? Just right.
You know what? If I'm setting this total in Vegas, this is the perfect number. Because you've got, if you look at Ohio State's schedule, you have, I think, five clear locks in Ball State, Kent State, Illinois, Maryland, and Northwestern. I think you've got a couple more games that are pretty solid, but not automatic in away games at Nebraska and Iowa. I think you've got the Michigan game, which I think Ohio State is going to repeat with this year. But then you've got a couple of really tough games. You got 4 games that could give you problems, I think. At Texas, at Indiana, at USC, and at Oregon. And what you're saying, if you're setting this at 9.5 games, is that they are going to have to win at least 2 of those. Minimum. And I think they will. I think this is probably a 10-2, 11-1 squad this season. But like I said, if I'm setting this game and I am setting the odds in Vegas, I think 9.5 is the perfect number to go with because you have just enough challenging teams on that schedule. The 9-3, why be a disappointment to Ohio State fans? I don't think would be a disappointment to a lot of the people around the country who are playing this schedule. So, yeah, I think it's the right number, Eric.
TG, what do you think? 9.5, too much, not enough, just right?
I would say for the people in Vegas, it's just right, only because of this very thing, the schedule. And you got a couple tough games. And I will say this. The 3 games we are most likely to lose are, if I'm not mistaken, Texas, as we all know, Oregon, and Indiana. They would have to win 2 out of the 3. I think they can win 2 of the 3. I think this is a 10-2, 11-1 squad myself. I'm not going to say they're going to go undefeated. Now, if they go undefeated, that would be a hell of a thing against this schedule. They really, really would. And there is a potential for that, too. But you got a couple of games that can sneak up on you. I would say the Iowa game is the one you obviously are going to be the most scared of because we all know how it is playing up in their stadium. It is crazy. But Ryan Day has done it before, so I'm not gonna say like as if we could automatically lose, but that is a game that does scare you. Another one I would say that scares me, I wouldn't say it's the Nebraska game. I would say it's more so Illinois because I think Illinois is better than Nebraska, and because who's like Nebraska's quarterback right now? Since Dylan Raiola left.
Yeah, the guy who jumped in last
TJ
year.
Leaf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's okay.
Yeah, so that's why I'm not considering him like them a threat. Like, yeah, they get us maybe, but not really, because it's like I don't know who their quarterback is. Like, if Dylan Raiola was still the quarterback of this team, yeah, I probably would have seen it, maybe. But I would go with Illinois. Maryland definitely a win. Obviously, we all know the first Kent State, Ball State, they're easy wins. Northwestern's an easy win. The Michigan game, I think Ohio State will win that one. But we all know that, like, given the past that we have seen Ohio State kind of lose that game, so why people would be hesitant about this because it has happened before, albeit 3 years cheating scandal. 1 year was legitimate. But outside of that, no, I really do think this is a 10-2, 11-1 type of team. They're going undefeated. I'm happy. I'd be super happy. And more importantly, And more importantly, if they were able to go undefeated for the whole year and they had this kind of schedule, I would love to just see that. But I don't know I don't think it'll happen.
Don McClure says David Pollock said Ohio State has the number one hardest schedule in college football for 2026. I don't think he's wrong. It's definitely definitely top 5. Mika, 9.5. Too much, not enough, just right.
I agree with it, even though I think we're going to overachieve next year because, number one, we got Julian Sands got more experience, and he's already said they're going to open up things with his legs more, and I think that's going to open things up on offense a lot more. I think our run game is going to be better with Arthur Smith helping with the offensive line, and I think that's just going to help Bo Jackson and all the other running backs reach that other gear that they were kind of missing last year. So I think we're going to overachieve, but given the schedule, I can see us, because there's always that one surprise game. You can't be on your game all the time. And don't sleep on Northwestern either. I think they're going to be a really good team this year, and Chip Kelly's going to be interesting, and Childs, the quarterback, I think Kelly might be just the type of coach he needs to tap into his skill set, because he's at his best when he can move around and be like your true dual threat type guy. So I think Chit's going to be really good for him.
Yeah, Northwestern's very interesting this year. Just looking at the big picture of the Big Ten with Chip Kelly there, Childs is the quarterback who moved on there to Northwestern. They're projected, I think, at was it 7? Is it 7.5 or 8.5 wins?
7.5, I believe.
7.5. So, and a lot of people are saying they think that they can get to 8. But go ahead.
But
Chris.
Eric, what we have to remember, I know this was typically under Fitzgerald, but still remember, it's the every other year rule, and it's an even year.
But they're also opening up that new joint that's pretty awesome up there. So, all right, let's go here. Even though most of you in the chat are going to be angry that I am. Let's say we do not hit the over. We go 9-3 on this schedule. I want you to tell me which of the 3 games will Ohio State lose if we go 9-3, Chris.
Which 3 games would they lose?
Mm-hmm.
It would be at Indiana. I'm going to say versus Oregon. I am not sold on Texas. I'm really not. I think I may lean over with TG and say that maybe we get shocked at Iowa.
The Kinnick curse, huh?
Those would be. I don't think it'll happen, but I'm just saying if it does, those are the 3 that I think get us.
I'm kind of feeling froggy, and I might go to that game this year because I want to take part in the wave. It's on my bucket list, and I want to wear my stuff over there and laugh at all of them if we beat them. Because
wasn't that where we were going to go to the last one?
Illinois was where we were going to go last time, and then we started really hitting on the live watches. Yeah. We couldn't go, but all right, 9-3 TG. Give me those 3 bad games if we go 9-3.
If I had to go 3, it would be obviously Indiana, Oregon. The only reason I would ever go Texas is just because it's in their stadium, and we talk about it, how the whiteout used to be a big problem for us. I kind of look at Texas in the same regard. I don't think they're a good team, but that's something that could affect. But those would be the only 3 games I could realistically look at. Now, could I see again Iowa upsetting us? Yes, but I'll say this when it comes to Ryan Day. He's not Urban Meyer. No offense, Urban, I'm sorry. But he does not lose games he's not supposed to lose. If he loses games, it's going to be to the best teams, typically. It's how it always has been for him.
13-10.
Grumpy cat.
Not
cool. Not cool. Not cool, man.
All I'm saying is you say he doesn't lose games he shouldn't lose. That was a
Look, the
game that
Michigan game is
he
the one
never should have
exception.
lost.
The Michigan game is
Not
the one
cool, dude.
exception. However, we did have this discussion with Spiro that Michigan scandal did get in this man's head a lot. So
I
let's be
agree.
realistic.
100%.
Let's be realistic. If it wasn't in his head as much and he wasn't so uptight about trying to beat this team, I don't think they would have lost. But that's just what happens. And look, it's the rivalry game. Anything can happen. Like, let's be realistic. We've had teams in the past, if everybody remembers the Cooper era, that were better than Michigan's, and we still lost.
all the
So,
time.
like,
Yeah,
Pretty much the
all
entire
time.
decade.
yeah, practically. So, like, that's why I'm like, I'm not going to go out of my way to say anything about that, because I'm like, well, it's the rivalry. So, like, that makes sense in a lot of sense. Not to mention how much it messed with Ryan Day's psyche. So, and now that he's beat them, he ain't got to worry about that as much no more. He can relax, finally.
Yep.
T says he would pick Texas, Oregon, USC. Vader says Texas, Oregon, USC. Lisa says Texas, Oregon, either Indiana or USC. Sage says, hey guys, I was thinking Iowa also. Don't sleep on that one.
The only reason I wouldn't go USC is because I do not trust Lincoln Riley as a head coach at all.
Yeah,
This is
I
kind
don't
of a
think
do or
he's
die.
good.
This is a do or die year for him.
Yeah.
I don't think he's a good coach. I think he's a good coordinator. I
really
don't think
don't.
he's a good head coach.
I don't either. I think he's good OC, not a great head coach. And one of his biggest problems is his refusal to change. Like, one of the things we talked about with Ryan Day was him changing as a head coach as time went on. Lincoln Riley stuck to the same status quo, and what has changed is exactly. I want to see how good his defense actually will be this year, for once. And secondly, I want to see what you're going to do with this offense at least. Because, like, I see it's good offense, but, like, it's still some holes and stuff that he hasn't figured out yet. It's
Yeah,
like, I just don't trust him as a
absolutely.
head coach. Not to mention his inability to make adjustments. That's the other
He's
thing.
al-
Like,
He's always struggled with that, though.
that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, with USC, like, at least with Ryan Day, he's practically figuring it out over his, like, 7, now going into 8 years as a head coach, where Lincoln Riley's still trying to figure it out.
All right, Miko, give me your 3.
Texas, Oregon, Indiana. Even though I don't think we lose against Indiana or Texas.
RDCB's with you. He refuses to pick a third.
Don McClure put up a point saying that we could lose to Oregon and get a rematch with them in the Big Ten championship game. Only if we
Yep.
take down Indiana, because Indiana has such a soft schedule this year. They avoid a lot of the heavy hitters.
Now, I will say this. They have taken, like, I do predict them to take a bit of a step back because
I think they
obviously
will
they've
as
lost
well.
a lot of players on their team as well. Like, so I do think they'll take a step back. Maybe they won't be as good as they were last year, but I think they'll be good still.
We all predicted him to take a step back last year, and they took a huge step forward.
They brought
Yeah,
in a
but-
lot of good recruits, too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sleeping on Indiana at all.
No, I'm not saying as if they're like going to be bad. I'm talking about they may like be pretty much like how I'm gonna say this. They'll be like more like 10-2. I don't think they'll be like that team that we thought they would be this year. Like they were a great team this year, but I'm not
10-2 gets you back to the CFP. So
It do, but I don't think they'll win a national title though. I don't think they'll be back to that. I think they'll be a playoff contender every year, but I don't think they'll be a national title contender every year. They'll be like a national title contender like what, once every 5 years or so?
well, that's been Ohio State.
Ohio State, that's every year. Whereas
No,
like
we're not. Well, we've won 3 in 30 years.
no, I know we won 3 in
No,
30 years. I'm talking about
she
being national
means-
title contenders every
Yes,
year.
she means
But if
being
you're in the CFP, you are a national title contender. You
Really?
you
So,
have to get
so
you got to
James
get
Madison
in.
was a national title contender?
What?
James Madison was a national title contender?
Yeah, they had a chance. They
Come
blew it.
on,
But
Godfather.
Come on.
In,
Hey,
poker, they have a chance with a
Hey,
chip in a chair.
exactly.
Not-
That's what I'm saying.
Not in the playoff.
Eric, come on, dude.
Eric, I'm talking
I
about
love
like
you,
we're
but-
talking about like every year where we know for a fact that you are going to win. Like with Ohio State, that's always been the conversation with them, regardless of what era of college football it's been. Whether it's been the Poll era, the BCS 4 team, even the 12 team. Like everybody, even like if you saw FanDuel, funny enough, they actually have Ohio State as favorites to win the national title this year again. Which
Yeah.
when does that happen?
at 9.5, which is crazy.
If we're talking about like 3 years in back-to-back too, they're like, you think that matters? If Ohio State's a 9-3 team, how often do you think it is that? Because they're gonna go that way because of how tough the schedule is. But they also do believe that look, Alabama got in it with losing 3 games. If Alabama could get in, so could Ohio State, especially if they're losing to 3 of the best teams.
Who was the 10th seed in this tournament this year, Chris?
Miami.
They beat
Miami,
us.
wasn't
It was Miami.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
You know what though?
Come on.
Miami-
Hold on. Let me make my point. I will say you guys are right. I don't think the G5 schools had a legitimate shot to win a national championship. I was being a little tongue in cheek, but if you get in this tournament as a Power 4 school and you've got legitimate talent, such as Miami did, you absolutely have a chance to win a national championship, given this environment that we have in college football with the NIL, with transfer portal, things of that nature. You get hot at the right time of the year. Ohio State proved that in 2024. You can go on a run. Miami went on a run. So so when you say if Indiana's getting into the college football playoff consistently, they are consistently a national championship caliber football team. That's my point. Minus the G4 argument. All right, I will lay that aside for you guys. But let me ask this question, guys. You guys brought it up. Urban Meyer's inconceivable losses to Purdue and Iowa, with teams that, given the era we now have, would have definitely made the college football playoff and maybe won a national championship or two. What would you rather have? Urban Meyer's guaranteed 7-0 against Michigan but loses inconceivably to a team that he has no business losing to? Or Ryan Day's approach, where he beats basically everybody he's better than, but struggles against Michigan? Chris?
It's going to be sacrilege. I'm going to tell you right now.
It's fine.
I would take Urban. I would take Urban.
Alex somewhere is clapping his hands.
I'm not going to lie to you. Because this is the thing about Urban. He was a proven winner everywhere he was. He has how many national titles? 3? One at Ohio State, 2 at Florida. Is that correct?
Yep.
And this is a guy that got cheated out of a national title at Ohio State in 2012. He's a guy who, as you said, if we were in this extended playoff format, probably has at least 1, if not 2 more. I'm going to tell you right now, Ryan Day is a great coach. Urban is a winner. He may flub up the occasional game he shouldn't, but in a high pressure situation, I don't know if there's a coach I'd rather have than Urban Meyer. Maybe Nick Saban. That's about it.
TG?
I'm going Day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just can't. I'm sorry. Look, I love Urban, but I've beat Michigan enough times in my lifetime. I want to see us win the Natty at some point, please.
Let me ask you this question, though, TG. Urban played in an era where there was only 4 teams in the CFP. Now it's 12.
Yeah.
That's completely different. Those losses to Iowa and Purdue, given what he did those years.
I don't hold that against him entirely, but that was my biggest issue with him. Is like, dude, can you not lose games when you're not supposed to? That was my biggest issue. But the other thing is, too, I'm not going to lie, he did have chances to win more than 1. Now, 2012, I don't hold against him. 2013, you probably should have won and won 1. You won 1 in 2014 when you were ahead of schedule. 2015,
that should have been a repeat year.
Hold on, Mika.
Yeah, that was a repeat year. And that's because, and one of my other things with Urban is, at least I can say this about Ryan Day, is he always has his team with their foot on the gas pedal. Like, they don't take their foot off until they know for sure they're going to win. Like, unless it's against, like, when they're up by a certain amount of points and they're comfortable that this team won't come back, then they'll take their foot off the gas pedal. Other than that, but Urban Meyer, no. He has a habit of taking his foot off the gas pedal a little too much and not having his team on point as much as he should.
Urban never took his foot off the gas. Urban will run up 70 on you in a heartbeat.
Guys, I'm talking about, like, how am I going to say this? There are certain games where I've seen Urban kind of like, Urban, shouldn't you kill this team a little bit better than you should be doing right now? Can you please kind of just take it up another notch, please? I didn't like how he coached at times. Like, I'm not saying Urban's not a winner. Like, Urban is a winner, no doubt. But there are certain things about his coaching I did not like. Especially because the other thing is, too, Urban would burn himself out too quick. I'm not gonna lie, because his
That
anger
I
is the
give
other
you.
thing. Like, he's too angry and he burns himself out, which is why I also say that he takes his foot off the gas pedal, because he burns himself out too much. So it's like, Urban, know when to take it slow. Like, at least with Ryan Day, he knows when to be angry Ryan Day when it matters. I love that about Day. He's not always
Not
angry.
really.
Now,
Not this past
does
year he
Day
didn't.
always be like Ryan Day?
Yeah.
Is he always like that? No. 2024 was 2022, 2024. I would even say 2021 he was actually more so like that. But like 20 and look, I'm gonna even give Ryan Day this benefit of the doubt. You were first time head coach, you were learning, you were getting on your way. I understand that. And for Urban, I love him as a coach, but like he burns himself out too much and to a point where it's like I don't know if I could trust him to stay that way all season. Especially in the 12-team playoff. I don't know if I can trust him to do that.
Ed's point is spot on, though, Eric.
And look,
Urban was
Urban
a
is a
killer.
killer.
Ryan
but
Day's
the-
too nice of a guy.
Mm.
I truly
Yeah,
believe that.
Ryan Day is. Look, Urban is a killer. I just do not trust the fact he won't burn himself out. I do not trust the fact. I don't trust it.
Mika, give me your point.
I agree with Grumpy Cat 100%. Like, I would take the fact that we didn't repeat in 2015 with that roster was a travesty. And if Urban was in this format, I think he would have at least one more championship to go with the one he got for Ohio State, and easily could be 2 or 3. Because, yeah, he might lose the one game that everyone's running around asking, how the heck did we lose it? But when big games happen, Urban was always ready.
Except for this one.
31-0 games. Yeah, that's the one thing I can't say. At least Ryan Day never
Oh,
got it.
yeah.
But the only team he got his butt kicked by was Alabama in 2020, which is 100% acceptable. But
Yeah, because
Urban getting his
that
ass
defense was
kicked by
awful.
Clemson, that was just horrific.
Well, we had about
Yeah.
half the team on the roster out with COVID or the flu, didn't
But
we?
here's also the other reason I think I would pick Day too. It's because of the hires he makes at coach. Like, he only has 2 bad hires, where the one, Kerry Combs, that wasn't his fault because I've said it. Kerry Combs was supposed to be the defensive back coach and the co-defensive coordinator to Jeff Hafley. But because Jeff Hafley left without telling Ryan Day and left it with Kerry Combs, Ryan Day had to stick with that until he found himself a new defensive coordinator. But the biggest one would be the Parker Fleming. That was the only one I would say that's really his fault. Because it's like, why would you hire a quarterback guy to be your special teams guy? That made no sense to me. Whereas with Urban, he hired his friends. I did not like the Tony Alford hire. I think he's one of the worst running back coaches in the history of Ohio State.
And
Probably the
Davis.
worst. Because his resume is atrocious. at Ohio
He's
State.
not a terrible running backs coach. We feel that way because he left and went to Michigan, but he
No,
he
I'm talking
actually
about, like,
had
if I go back and look at his resume, it was not great.
no he had some pretty J.K.
No, like
Dobbins.
J.K. Dobbins.
J.K.
No, no,
Dobbins
J.K.
pretty great.
Dobbins,
Zeke
J.K.
Elliott,
Dobbins,
Trey
Zeke
Sermon,
Elliott, although he
Travion
didn't
Henderson,
recruit
those
Zeke
two.
Elliott, he developed Zeke Elliott. We can't not
Did he?
give him credit for Zeke. Yes, he was here when Zeke Elliott went
Yes,
I thought it was Stan
Yeah.
Drayton.
off. No, Zeke
Stan
Elliott.
Drayton did recruit him, but
But
Didn't he leave in 2015?
developed him.
no, it was more development under Alford. So I can't stand Tony Alford. I can't stand the man, but I got to give him at least some props when he did show up and recruit every other year. I will say that. All right, we got to move on to
I
the
don't
next
like
topic.
that about him. I, at least with Stan Drayton, that man recruited every year. And what we're seeing with Carlos Loughlin is the other thing. So like now, I don't think he's the best running back coach we've had. I mean, I'll give him his props.
No,
for
I didn't
Rick
say he was the
Henry,
best we
for Trey
had.
Sermon. No,
I
I'm not
just said
saying
he
like
wasn't
I
the worst.
don't think he's one of the best, but he's one of the worst because this man was so inconsistent and it drove me up a wall. I'm like, Tony, what are you doing, dude? Get your recruiting together, dude. What are you doing with this running back room? Why is this running back room not as deep as it should be? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? But then the Ed Warner hire, and who was that linebacker coach that he hired as well?
Oh, he was his best friend.
Bill
his buddy,
Davis.
Bill Davis.
Yeah, that was the worst linebacker coach I've ever seen. I'm like, that's the other thing. It's like, bro,
I-
I'm like, we're talking about in the 12-team era. I'm like,
And
if
Stud.
you got that bad at coaching, I'm not even gonna trust the fact you can.
Now
make
hold
that
on.
work.
I will defend Coach Stud. Know him personally. Like the guy a lot, dude. He unfortunately ran into health problems that prohibited him from being able to even coach that season, and thankfully Kevin Wilson was there to step in as the tight ends coach and also coach the
Yeah.
offensive line for Coach
I
Stud.
thought linebackers coach.
But Mika Mitch brought up Coach Stud, so Coach Stud I thought did a really good job while he was here, and he actually was a pretty decent recruiter too.
No, like I'm talking about like the linebacker coach.
I hear you, TG. I'm just
and
just
Ed
saying.
Warner. Like here's the thing. I think Ed Warner is a great coach. Don't get it twisted.
God.
Yes, Mika, go for it.
He was referring to what I said, TG. Not, like...
Yeah, no, I
You
wasn't
said-
talking about Coach Stud. I was talking about the linebacker coach.
God.
That's all I was talking about. The linebacker coach.
All right,
All right,
I'm
moving-
muting all of you. Let's move on.
Yeah, moving on to our next topic. So I have an audio clip to share with you guys. This is called the 10-80-10 rule. This is what Ryan Day brought up on a show. Now, this is not something he made up. This was actually something Urban Meyer used as well that he got. I believe it's from a business perspective. But it's called the 10-80-10 rule. I'll play the audio clip, and then what we're going to do is we're going to dissect it. We're going to actually try to figure out who the 10% elite guys are on this roster. Here we go.
So the thing that we use a lot of is 10-80-10, and it's a bell curve. You know, the 10% over here are the elite. Then there's the 10% at the bottom who are kind of the defiant and disinterested. And then there's the 80%. And what happens a lot of times is we spend time on the bottom 10%. What we really need to do is take this middle 80 and push them over to the elite and move the mountain. And that's on the onus of the coaches and that 10% who are the elite to push that over there. I felt like last year we pushed that mountain strong over here. And because of that, we won a championship.
So obviously he's talking about 2024, the national championship in 2024. I believe that this interview was from a year ago, and it's resurfaced and made its ways around. It's made its way around social media again. 10-80-10. So there's 10% of your roster that's elite. There's 10% of your roster that, for a lack of a better term, is not going to ever see the field. Okay. I don't want to use the word trash, but you get my point. And then there's 80% of the roster that's in the middle that you're trying to push closer to the elite side than falling back to the other 10% on the trash side. Now, Ryan Day says in 2024 we were able to push that 80% closer to the 10% of the elite side. But you have to have 10% that's elite to begin with in order for you to even try to make that effort. So if that's what we believe to be true, that we have 10% of the roster in 2026 that it is elite, I want all of you to give me one name. Try not to copy each other, but let's all give one name of one player currently on the roster that we would believe is in the 10% that is elite, and why. Chris, go. Give me one.
Jeremiah Smith. He's the best wide receiver in college football, arguably the best offensive player, if not the best player in college football. I mean, I think it's simple.
Give me one, TG. Not Jeremiah Smith.
I already know because Chris took that one from me. If I had to say who's the top 10 best, I'll go with Julian Sand for this one, just because I believe that he was one of the best. He definitely was one of the best quarterbacks last year, so I think he's definitely the top quarterback this year as well, no doubt.
Mika.
I'm gonna go with Bo Jackson.
I like it.
Why?
Because of what he did last year, and have it being his first year after not playing a lot of his high school career, that was impressive. And I expect him to be even better next year once he gets all healed up and everything.
I'm not saying you're wrong, Mika, because I want you to be 100% right. But are you saying he's one of the 10 best guys on the team, too, when you say that?
It depends on if he's healthy. Is he healthy? Are you telling me he's healthy? I'd say yes.
But, okay. I'm not saying that you lose eliteness based off health, but at the same time, I see your point. The best ability is availability, which is what the NFL preaches all the time.
Yeah.
Sean's got my guy here. He better be elite. He better be elite this year.
He put
And
on
if
that
he's-
number 2. He damn well better be elite.
He better be elite. And if he's not, that's not good for us. That's not good at all. We need him to be elite. And maybe he wasn't elite last year. Let's hope he has an elite offseason and he becomes elite. So let me see if I can remember all of them. Chris said Jeremiah Smith. TG said Julian Sane. Mika said Bo Jackson. And I was the only one who mentioned a defensive player. Is that a problem?
No.
I'm going to say no.
Why?
And this is why. Because right now, I think a lot of our defensive players are unproven. They haven't
Yeah.
had the opportunity yet. Do I think that they will be elite? Yes, I think we will have. I'm going to tell you right now, I think that Riley Pettyjohn's going to be elite. I think that Peyton Pierce has the ability to be elite. Kenyatta, obviously, I think Zion has the chance to be elite. I think our Alabama transfers have a chance to be elite. Devin, if he steps up, has the chance to be elite. But we haven't seen them yet. We haven't seen enough of them. We saw a little bit of Devin last year. He was definitely not elite at that time. Has he made that step forward? The tools are there. But has he taken the step forward? So to me, I'm not really concerned yet. I think if we reevaluate this at, say, a week or two before kickoff, we're going to have some different things in mind. Having seen practices through the summer and through the spring.
You know what's funny is like with Devin Sanchez, it's like in the first half of the season he started off promising, but it's like the second half is where he just fell off all of a sudden. It was kind of weird to me.
Played off of receivers too far. Gave too much
Yeah.
of a cushion. Way too
Yeah.
much of a cushion. And I don't know if it was because he was worried about getting burnt or what he was trying to do with that, but on a 3rd and 8, you can't play 12 yards off the receiver. Sorry, can't do it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that was by design. They were worried about him getting burnt.
Burned.
Well, if that's the case, then why was he in?
Exactly my point.
Now,
This would be the
I will
case
say this, and Sean may be onto something here. After everything we've heard about Jalen McClain in the offseason, but Sean, I'm going to put him into the same category. He was very good last year, but I don't know that he was elite. I think this year he is elite.
Okay, we're going to get to that in just a second. Mika, do you have anything else to say before I
Nope.
throw out my next question? Okay. Do you have to be a producer on game day on the field to be considered elite? That's my question. Because I'm going to give you a name right now. And Don McClure, shout out to you. You're the one who brought him up. Brandon Ennis. 2-time Iron Buckeye, team captain. Coaches rave about this man, his work ethic, what he does in the locker room, what he does in the weight room, what he does behind the scenes as a leader of this football team. Just doesn't have the numbers yet. Chris, is Brandon, and can you be elite and not be one of the 10 best producing statistic players on the team?
I'm going to say yes, and this is why. And I'm going to relate this to something you love, Eric, basketball. Would you call John Stockton a elite point guard?
Oh, absolutely I would.
Because he got the ball into the hands of the people that made the plays. He was the kind of guy who made everybody around him better. That's what I look at with Brandon Ennis. A guy whose leadership, whose work ethic, who's, actually out there maybe helping coach the guys and take some of these young guys under his wing. You can be elite without putting up huge numbers if you are doing the little things that help everybody else get better. So I think there is an argument that Brandon Ennis could be included in that. And oh, by the way, he does have the God-given talent to be elite if Julian actually gets that far into his progression and throws him the daggone ball. I think we saw last year, he was open so many times and missed. I think Brandon Ennis has every opportunity to be elite. I think he can be elite just as a leader. And another name I'll throw out there, one that I think, Eric, is a perfect example of being elite without putting up big numbers on the field. What did Cameron Babb mean to this team?
Great point. That's a
Yep.
great point. Good call, Chris. Good call. TG, can you be elite and not be necessarily elite on game day?
I think that depends, because here's the reality. Like in Brandon Ennis' situation, I think he is elite without being elite on game day. Only because, as one of our friends had said it, he's a master of getting open. He just could not get the football. I think it just depends on how you are, because we all thought certain players we all thought were elite, and then when they got on the football field, like in actual games, they sucked hard. Like, yeah, you're elite on the practice field, you're not elite on the field. But if you're someone like a Brandon Ennis, where you could be elite on the field, you're not only elite in practice, but you're elite on the field. You're just having some issues getting things going your way, because either your quarterback isn't looking at you, or if you're a defensive player, like, say, who would be the best example? Denzel Burke, who never really got the ball thrown his way. Yeah, you could be. But it's a 50-50 in my opinion.
Mika.
Yeah, you can be elite without having the on-field production, because he makes, like Grumpy Cat said, he makes people around him better, and he's one of the leaders of the entire team, not just the offense. Like, everyone looks at him, and it's not his fault when his quarterback doesn't look his way. I mean, and he's constantly played with guys like Marvin Harrison and J.J. Smith and things like and guys that, the quarterback looks to first. And when those guys get open, you can't blame the quarterback for going with those guys, but it's not Ennis' fault that he doesn't get the ball. He gets open, the ball just doesn't come to him.
I don't know how many times during the live game watches last year we would be like, Brandon Ennis was wide open on that throw. I mean, just I can't tell you how many times. And it's like every time he caught a pass, it was on like a really well contested ball where the defender was draped all over him, and he still made the catch. And it's like, my gosh, if the guy ever got the ball when he was open and could actually get some yards after catch, get some yak, the dude might have some really good stats. Yes, TG.
Here's what's funny, because when you see it, how many times was this man open? And it seems like it was every game. The one time Julius Sand found him when he was open was in the Penn State game, if you remember, when he ran that little route up the middle, and he threw it to him right on time. That was the one time he actually found him open. Every other time, it's like, nope.
Oh yeah, the drag route. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else on this team other than Brandon Ennis that you can think of, Chris? That would be, and you brought up a good one in the past, Cameron Babb, that you might consider elite, but maybe hasn't shown it on the field. And I got two names for you if you guys don't give them to me.
Anybody on the current team?
Mm-hmm. Currently.
I'll tell you right now, somebody who I think is on the verge of being elite, but hasn't quite gotten there yet, is Austin Severveld. I think he's right on the edge of being elite. He gave up a couple bad plays last year, but overall, he's been very, very solid. And his transition to left tackle last year was just amazing. So I really feel like he's somebody who's very, very close, but not quite there. I think he'll be there this year, though.
TG, you got a name?
I mean, you got Sean Schrock just said it, Carson Hinsman, for me, and it's because of how he's been on the football field himself. Like, I know that he's had his own fair share of issues when it comes to his blocking, but it hasn't always been. He's mostly been good, especially with his ability to play both center and guard, and how versatile he is on both guard and center, especially on either side of the line. I think I would say he is elite, even without having the full-on production himself.
Mika? Now, if you go with a third offensive lineman that they haven't mentioned, I'm going to do my happy dance.
I'm going to say... I'm going to say... Kenyatta.
Well, like I said, he better be elite, right?
because he was straight up mauled a lot last season, and it wasn't its fault that it didn't get called.
Yeah.
Can I throw one out there, Eric, that I think is somebody we should watch out for this year? I just got a feeling that this is going to be his year in the program finally. That's Edric Houston.
Yeah.
I think
Luke
this year is going
Montgomery.
to be a
Dang it,
I think
Tyler.
this year is going to be a breakout year for Edric Houston.
Yeah.
I was
gonna
waiting
throw out-
waiting for one of you guys to throw out Luke Montgomery so I could do my happy
That
dance.
was actually
but
gonna
you
be my
guys did.
next person I was gonna throw out. I was gonna say Eric. Another one I have is Luke Montgomery, and then Tyler just bounced it out there before I could say it.
Yep.
Here's the thing about offensive linemen. It's hard to be considered elite as an offensive lineman unless you are so dominant that everybody can obviously see it. Because a lot of offensive linemen's success is wrapped up in two things: a clean pocket and running lanes, holes on the defensive line for the running back to run through, right? But all those aren't necessarily individual things. It takes a complete unit doing that to make it look good, unless your name is Orlando Pace, and then it's like, oh yeah, that guy's really good, or Corey Stringer. It's like, yeah, that guy's obviously killing everybody out there. He's like freaking awesome. So does it concern you that Carson Hinsman was an Iron Buckeye last year, and he was not this year? Not Carson Hinsman, I'm sorry, Austin Sperveld. Does that concern you, Chris?
No. I don't think so. I think he's put in the work. Maybe he raised the bar to the point where the expectations are a lot higher. For him to get that award. Maybe there was just these guys who just outproduced everybody else so much that they were a clear choice. What we saw this year, Eric, out of the spring practice though, was we saw 4 Iron Buckeyes. Where in the past we were seeing 10, 12 guys on the list. I think it's becoming more elite. This is an award that I think they're trying to make more elite, making you want it more, making you work harder to get it. So no, I'm not that upset about it because I think that what they're trying to do with it is make it something special.
TG, does it concern you that Austin Sperveld was not a Iron Buckeye?
No, I think that, as Chris said it, we're trying to make it more elite than ever. Because in the past, we did kind of. Honestly, I feel like that was the same thing we were doing with captains in the past. Like there were times we had like 13 freaking captains, and it's like, what are we doing? So we're seeing it now where with captains, like Iron Buckeye is pretty much like captains. You're trying to make it more elite to a point where everybody's going to want it. I mean, I think B.I. will be a captain again this year, of course, because why not? The man's a true leader. I think that everybody else is going to have to show it. Everybody else is going to have to earn that ability to be a captain. And if I had to pick anything with Austin Sperveld, you not being an Iron Buckeye this year just shows how hard it is to win it consistently. Like only Jeremiah Smith has done it 3 times in a year in a row, because he's Jeremiah Smith. So, not everybody finna pull what he did. Sorry, it's not gonna happen.
I think the reason why Jeremiah Smith has gotten it 3 years in a row is because he, as good as he is physically dominant as he looks, he does everything right.
Yes.
He goes to class. He goes to the weight room, never misses the weight room. He's early to practice. He's catching balls off the jug machine all the time. He's watching film. The coaches know when you have your tablet and you're watching film.
Mm-hmm.
They know how much
yeah.
film you're watching.
Oh yeah.
So he does everything elite, right?
Buck Vader just gave the answer for why he was not. He was limited in lifting this offseason.
Because of injury, or because he just was, I guess, injury, right?
It would have to be injury.
I would assume.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question, Mika. Let me change the question a little bit on you here.
Okay.
Instead of looking at an individual offensive lineman, if the offensive line at Ohio State this year is elite, I want you to finish this sentence for me. If Ohio State's offensive line is elite, then the Buckeyes will blank. Fill in the sentence for me.
Win the Natty.
So I figured you were going to say that. It's a setup, by the way, Mika. I set you up.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I said that and I wanted you to say that is because how many times have we put, I think, whether right or not, we've put these expectations on our quarterback, right? And the offensive line, or just there was something wrong with the offensive line, that whether they didn't protect them well enough, they didn't open up running lanes, whatever. The offensive line wasn't elite. I think CJ Stroud was elite.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
don't think the offensive line was elite for him.
Yep.
Will Howard was not elite, but the offensive line in the playoff run was
Was he
elite.
late?
Give me your thoughts on that statement, Mika.
That's completely true. Like, and it's if good quarterbacks can make things happen. Don't get me wrong, but they need protect it. And when you're not doing that, it just it. And it's not just the quarterback; it's the running back. It's everything. Everything offensively goes through the offensive line. Like they set at the tone. Like if your offensive line is bad, that means your running game can't get going. Your quarterback doesn't have time to find his receivers. The receivers don't have time to run the routes. Like it all goes through the offensive line, and they don't get the shine that they need to because they're very very important to football, and the and it's not just the tackles. Everyone wants to talk about the tackles. You need guards too. Guards don't get enough shine at all. And I mean, you saw it. We tried to go all tackle bodies that one year, and it didn't work. You need guards too.
100%. RDCB. Eric, do you believe that this offensive line could win the Joe Moore Award? Where's your confidence level with that? Extremely confident. RDCB, I said this a month ago. You made it a complete character based off of it. I am the biggest cheerleader for the offensive line this year. I believe that this offensive line is going to be elite, and that will be the difference between us going 9-3 or 8-4 in the regular season, or going 10-2, 11-1, or maybe even 12-0. It'll be the offensive line. Will they play at elite level? Number one. Number two, will they be healthy? That's the critical thing here. Year number 2 under Tyler Bowen, I think, is really, really important as well. I know a lot of people were really down on him. They thought the offensive line didn't perform as well last year under Tyler Bowman for the whole of the season, especially at the end of the season when compared to how they played at the end of 2024 during the national championship run. I agree with that. There was a little bit of a difference of change in philosophy on the offensive line. Chris and I witnessed it firsthand when we went down to the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and watched practice. They were doing things differently on the offensive line than they did the year before. It takes time to develop an offensive line, and they are trying to go at it for the long game. They did not look last year under Tyler Bowman of, hey, let's get in here and let's fix it right now and let's go be elite right now. They were looking at the long game for this. And I think you can look at how they're doing recruiting, and that'll tell you exactly how they're looking at it. They're trying to go after an elite tackle. They're throwing their lure out there in the deep water in the pond, trying to get a big tackle. But they are also casting a very wide net on Ohio kids that they believe they can develop. And Mika and I are going to do a video about that. It is a complete change in philosophy on the offensive line. And to me, instead of going, hey, let's go get a big guy, and then he leaves in a year because he didn't start because he wants $2 million in NIL and he's not worth it. They're going after kids that they can keep for a smaller NIL dollar, and they're saying by year number 3, this kid is going to be very good for us. Year number 4, he's going to be very good for us because they're playing the long game with kids with higher upside, not just big-name recruiting stars on the offensive line. And Chris and I had this conversation with Ryan Miller, my cousin at Ohio State, a year and a half ago, was it?
It was
Chris?
right after the Michigan loss, the 13-game loss.
Yeah. And Ryan told us this is exactly what Ohio State's going to be doing with their offensive line.
Not only did he tell us, but he yelled at us.
He did. He
He
did.
scolded us.
He
I
did.
can see
He
And
that.
I
Look.
think we need to send Alex over there to get scolded next,
Oh,
Eric.
So
Because
we're
he's
in the
over here with
conference
his
room.
0 chances. We're going to start calling him King Buckeye and start calling him Queen Pessimist over here
So
with his
so
negativity.
let me tell the story real fast, Chris, in closing. So Chris and I go visit Ryan. We're delivering money to Second and 7 for the Little Kids Library, which, by the way, we have 2 of them up now. Chris just hasn't taken any pictures, and we haven't done that video yet. But anyways, we're in the office. He brings us in this like conference room with glass. It's like full of glass. It's a really nice conference room. He closes the door, and we start talking, and I say to him, he's from the state of Michigan, by the way, okay? I say to him, are we not recruiting enough Ohio kids? Do we not understand the rivalry good enough? Does Ryan Day not get the rivalry? Oh, he turned
I believe
about
his
three-
exact words is, that pisses me off.
Yeah, that's what he said to me. Eric, that pisses me off. I mean, he got 3 shades red, dude. He was mad.
Oh, I wish I could have saw it. I
He
wish I
gave me a
coulda
big
s-
hug afterwards, but he put me in my place that day. He
I
goes, as
wish
a
I could
former
have saw
player,
it, man.
he goes, as a former player, I can tell you right now, no one wanted to beat those guys as bad as those kids in the locker room, Boggs. Oh, he was fired up,
Well, he
man.
lit us up.
You know,
Of all the times not to have a video camera,
I
What?
would have wanted that one recorded. No.
I would have.
Wait a minute. I got to make an apology. Alex was saying he was being realistic because some other school with a decent offensive line will win it. They refuse to give an award to Ohio State. Alex, my apologies.
That is
Your king status has been restored.
pretty
Yes.
accurate.
and I will say this too. Like Sean did say, if like this offensive line can be elite if they play their best 5, of course, and it doesn't matter if they're 5. If you're 5 best or 5 tackles, then go with it. 5 best or 5 guards.
I disagree with that.
I do too.
I know.
Yeah.
I
If
do
your
too.
5,
I'm
if your
just
5
saying,
best
like, that's how
offensive
he looks at
linemen
it.
are all tackles and none of them can snap the ball, I mean, you're killing yourself.
We
Yeah.
saw that, like Mika mentioned. We saw that a few years ago where they ran an entire line of tackles out there.
Wait,
It
what year
didn't
was
work
that?
out. When we had Thayer Mumford bumped down to guard, and we had who was the other one we had bumped down to guard was a tackle?
Petit Ferrer and
Yeah, Petit Frere and
Mumford and
Paris Johnson, I think, was on that group, wasn't he?
Harris and
I remember
was
that
it
line.
Dewan?
I think
DeJuan
so.
Jones.
It might have been
DeJuan
DeJuan Jones. I mean, I don't remember that line. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, because that was the year they kept saying, we got to get our best 5 out there. We got to get our best 5 out there. Man, you got to recruit all positions. It's like saying we need our best 3 wide receivers out there, and you put a 6'6" guy in the slot, and he does nothing for you.
Yeah,
You know?
here's what I'm
I
gonna
mean-
say for Sean is like, say it this way: your best 5 being your best at center. This is how you should be saying it: your best at center, your best at guards, both left and right, and your best at tackles. Those are your
Yep.
5 best. However you put in that way, Gabe, because he's not wrong. If those are your 5 best, then yeah. But if you're talking about your best offensive line, period, yeah, that ain't gonna work.
Well, and here's where Sean's going with that. And we all know where, I think a lot of us know where he's going. He is wanting Carson bumped out to guard. He's wanting Padilla put in at center. And I don't know that he's wrong with wanting that, but
Because
You know?
I think Carson Hinzman's one of your best guards.
I agree.
He's
Because
not
he's
the best
absolutely
guard.
brutal. And that's what he wants to play.
Yeah.
It's like he's elite as both a center and a guard, but he might
He
be
is.
better as a guard than he is a center, and he loves playing guard because it just allows him to go and just whoop, just push a dude in the ground. And if you're gonna have him put at guard, put him at right guard, put Luke next to him, have Padilla in the center, and I think that's your best inside line right there, in my opinion.
Yep. And
And I'll
if
tell you
Ian,
another. Go ahead, Mika.
if Ian Moore's healthy, I think he's gonna really, really push for time because that kid really impressed me when he got in last year.
I'll tell you another reason why I want Josh Padilla to start at center. This right here.
We got to get that up there. We got to get that on a.
That is awesome.
You know what? We got to put that as an intro to the show.
I cannot get those kids in trouble, dude.
How'd you get him to do that?
I did not go through any of their like agents or NIL or nothing, man, to get that.
That is so cool. How'd you get him to
He
do
just
that?
shot it for us at the practice we went
Yeah,
to.
we were down at the practice,
Yeah.
and I said, hey, Padilla, will you say watch the OHIO podcast? He goes, yeah, sure. I hit record. He goes, watch the OHIO podcast.
That's awesome.
All right, guys, we're going to head on over to Patreon. We're about to crown a champion tonight. That's right. We're playing Buckeye Jeopardy over on Patreon. It's Chris, it's Mika, it's TG. One of them is going to be our first Buckeye Jeopardy champion. And then we might open it up to not only other hosts, but maybe to you. Maybe you want to challenge the champion at Buckeye Jeopardy moving forward. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for this. Head on over to Patreon. Check it out. We'll be back tomorrow with more videos. Another live show at 8 o'clock tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you over on Patreon. OH.
Ayo.
Oh.
Go Bucks. And TG?
Scum still sucks.
And so does Marcus Freeman.
I knew he was gonna do that.
Why?